Let's go to Aaron Katursky now, our senior investigative correspondent. Because Aaron, I understand there was a photo, a potential photo of the shooter. Do we have that yet, or is there confirmation that it is in fact the shooter?
Well, the photo is from Getty Images, and law enforcement sources who have seen it tell ABC News that it does appear to be the shooter. So they are taking a look at this image, again, from Getty Images, and they are under the working suspicion that this is, in fact, going to be the shooter. Now, as Pierre notes, they still have not shared a specific identity. They undoubtedly have a name that they're working with, scouring his background, talking to any known acquaintances or family
and Aaron,
members.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
Picture.
I just want to make clear to our viewers, because as you started speaking, there was a different photograph, but the photograph right now that is on the screen is the photograph that you were talking about. And once again, Aaron, if you can just describe what law enforcement sources are saying about this particular picture.
The image comes from Getty Images, and it's being scrutinized by law enforcement officials now, but their working suspicion is that this appears to be the shooter. They have not released an identity, so they don't know for sure, but that is a working belief now of law enforcement officials that this image from Getty Images does in fact capture the person who may have tried to assassinate former President Trump at his rally earlier this evening in Pennsylvania.
Aaron Katursky, thank you. We're going to leave the picture up on the screen and go back to Pierre Thomas, because Pierre, I knew you've been talking to your law enforcement sources. This gives us a clearer picture of what we're dealing with. Again, we were hearing over the course through your reporting and others that the shooter was on a rooftop in a perched location 200 to 300 yards away from the venue, from the president. What does this tell us from your sources in terms of how this event played out and what this individual was able to do?
But what I can tell you for a fact, that image that we have up on the screen right now is being circulated by law enforcement. They have that image from Getty. They are circulating it. The operating assumption is that it was likely the shooter. This information, this image is being passed around through various law enforcement agencies for their evaluation. That image that we are looking at is an image that law enforcement has. They have control of the image. They are using the image to study it closely, obviously, and build from there. The other thing I can tell you is that this investigation now is of the highest priority. The FBI director directly involved in this case, and because from this particular shooting incident, it affects the entire threat environment, which we already said earlier was extremely elevated. People have been warning for weeks and months that the rhetoric in this country had produced a spike in political threats that no one can remember seeing in recent memory, period, full stop. The AG very concerned about it from my reporting. The FBI director speaking over and over about his concerns about this particular moment. So right now, law enforcement across the country, we have a statement from the police here in Washington, D.C. A source just reached out saying that they will elevate security in Washington based on what took place as well. So this is, again, a moment where law enforcement is reevaluating everything.